Let me say it plain. If you don't own your mornings, you will lose your life. Because your day doesn't begin when your feet hit the floor. It begins when your mind wakes up. And if your mind doesn't belong to you first thing in the morning, then the rest of your day doesn't either. See, most people wake up and react. They wake up and scroll. They wake up and immediately hand their focus, their energy, their spirit to someone else. The world grabs them before they even remember who they are. They check their notifications before they check in with themselves. They check their schedule before they check their soul. And then they wonder why they feel off all day, why they're chasing instead of leading, why they feel behind before the day's even begun. But let me tell you this, winners don't start their day by accident. They start it with authority. They don't stumble out of bed into chaos. They step into the morning like it's a battlefield, because it is. And if you don't claim that first hour, if you don't own your mindset, if you don't guard your energy before the noise gets in, then don't be surprised when your day gets hijacked. Don't be shocked when your emotions get tossed around like trash, because what you allow into your morning will dominate your life. If your phone owns your mornings, your distractions will own your future. If drama owns your mornings, confusion will own your peace. If the opinions of others own your mornings, you'll spend your whole day trying to prove something to people who don't even matter. So let me ask you, what owns your mornings right now? Is it discipline, or is it delay? Is it intention, or is it impulse? Is it your goals, or your comfort? Because here's the truth. How you start is how you finish. You want clarity at night? Then build it in the morning. You want to sleep in peace? Then wake up on purpose. You want success? Then stop treating the most powerful part of your day like it's disposable. Own your mornings like your future depends on it, because it does. You want to know why most people never reach their full potential? It's not because they lack talent. It's not because they don't have the connections. It's not because they didn't get the right opportunity. It's because they keep giving their mornings away. And what you give your mornings to, you give your life to. See, the morning is when your mind is still soft, still open, still unshaped by the chaos of the world. That's when your soul speaks the loudest. That's when your discipline shows up, or doesn't. And if the first thing you do is grab your phone, check your feed, scroll through someone else's life, then you just told the world, my time doesn't belong to me. My peace is up for sale. My attention is negotiable. And that's a dangerous way to live, because before you know it, your day gets eaten alive. You spend your hours chasing tasks, putting out fires, living in reaction instead of intention. But let me tell you something real. Champions own the morning. They don't rent it. They don't borrow it. They claim it. They rise before the noise. They move before the world starts pulling at them. They pray. They plan. They journal. They breathe. They move with power. Because they know what you do in private is what builds you in public. So if your mornings are sloppy, if your mornings are rushed, if your mornings are reactive, don't be surprised if your whole life feels that way too. Let me ask you something. When's the last time you started the day with you? Not a screen, not an email, not a complaint, not an emergency. You, your mind, your vision, your standards, your voice. If you don't check in with yourself first thing in the morning, you'll spend the rest of the day reacting to everybody else's version of you. And here's the part nobody wants to hear. Your morning routine is a mirror. It shows you whether your actions align with your ambitions. You say you want greatness? You say you want peace? You say you want legacy? Then prove it. Prove it before sunrise. Prove it in the dark when nobody's watching. Prove it when there's no reward yet. When it's quiet. When it's still. That's where strength is built. That's where champions are formed. That's where peace is earned, in silence, in solitude, in the first hour of the day. Let me break it down for you. Your morning is not just a routine. It's a declaration. It's you saying to the world, I'm in charge today. Not stress, not emails, not the opinions of other people. Me. It's not about waking up early just to brag. It's not about some fancy 5 a.m. club. It's about claiming your life before the world distracts you from it. You see, discipline doesn't start in the moment of pressure. It starts in the moment of preparation. And when you wake up with purpose, you walk differently. You talk differently. You make decisions from a place of clarity, not chaos. But here's the mistake most people make. They wait for motivation. They wait to feel like it. They say, I'll start when life calms down. Let me tell you, life's not going to calm down. You have to rise above it. Discipline is built when you don't feel like it. Peace is built when you protect it. Growth is built when you show up tired, uncertain, and still committed. That's what owning your morning teaches you. It trains you to do what's right, not what's easy. It teaches you how to stay anchored in a world that wants to toss you around every chance it gets. Let me ask you, when you roll out of bed late, rush into your clothes, skip breakfast, open your phone, scroll for 20 minutes, rush into work, what are you really saying to yourself? You're saying, my life is a reaction. My energy belongs to everyone else before it belongs to me. But when you wake up with intention, even if it's just 30 minutes of silence, even if it's just a quiet stretch, a few deep breaths, a written goal, you just told your mind, we lead today. We're not following. And that one decision, that 1 hour, it compounds. It builds confidence. It builds consistency. It builds power. Because here's what the world won't tell you. Success is not built in big breaks. It's built in boring hours. It's built in invisible choices. It's built in what you do before the world sees you. So what are you building? What are you protecting? What are you prioritizing? Because if you don't decide that in the morning, the world will decide it for you. And the world doesn't care about your peace. It doesn't care about your purpose. It only cares about your attention. And if you give that away freely, you'll never own your life. Let me talk to the version of you that's been drifting. The one who's been waking up tired, stressed, behind. The one who reaches for the phone before the toothbrush. The one who lets the world set the tone before you've even had a thought of your own. You weren't made for that. You weren't designed to wake up and fall into chaos. You weren't born to just survive until bedtime. You were built to lead your life, and leadership begins first thing in the morning. See, your morning doesn't just shape your day, it shapes your identity. Because every time you rise early, every time you sit in silence before you scroll, every time you speak life into your goals before someone speaks fear into your heart, you are reinforcing who you're becoming. You're not just waking up, you're leveling up. And I get it. It's hard. It's easier to sleep in. It's easier to reach for comfort. It's easier to say, I'll do better tomorrow. But easy won't build legacy. Comfort won't build resilience. And delay won't build peace. You want to know what peace really is? Peace is owning your time. Peace is owning your decisions. Peace is owning your energy before the world grabs it. You ever wonder why you feel so unsettled before noon? Why your mind feels scattered before you even get to work? It's because your morning was never yours. It belonged to distraction. It belonged to stress. It belonged to everything that doesn't feed you. So reclaim it. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Not for the grind, not for the flex, for your mind, for your spirit, for your soul. Start your day in silence. Write something. Pray. Stretch. Speak your affirmations. Read your goals. Visualize your future. Let the first voice you hear be yours, not the noise from someone else's timeline. Because if you don't guard that first hour like gold, you'll spend the rest of the day chasing clarity you gave away at sunrise. Let me say this plain. If you don't take command of your mornings, you're already surrendering your life. You're giving it away piece by piece, scroll by scroll, excuse by excuse, delay by delay. But the greats, they don't beg for time. They don't hope for peace. They build it before the sun comes up. Because what you do in the dark is what shapes who you are in the light. You know what's wild? Most people spend more time planning a vacation than they do planning their day. They want freedom, but they won't fight for structure. They want peace, but they won't protect the silence. They want purpose, but they start every morning in panic mode. Let me ask you straight, what kind of life are you building when every morning starts in confusion? Because the first hour of your day is your foundation. And if the foundation is cracked, don't be surprised when the whole structure starts shaking. If your morning routine is inconsistent, your mindset will be inconsistent. If your morning is reactive, your life will be reactive. If your morning belongs to distraction, you will never find alignment. You can have the best strategies. You can read the best books. You can surround yourself with the right people. But if your first hour is owned by weakness, the rest of your day will leak power. So I'm challenging you. Take it back. Wake up and take your mind back. Wake up and take your attention back. Wake up and stop apologizing for wanting time to focus. You don't owe anyone your energy first thing in the morning. You don't owe the world your attention before you've given it to yourself. And listen, you don't need a perfect morning routine. You need a consistent one. You don't need a 3-hour ritual. You need a simple commitment. Maybe for you, it's 10 minutes of gratitude. Maybe it's 5 goals written in silence. Maybe it's no phone until breakfast. Maybe it's just walking in the stillness with your own thoughts. But whatever it is, own it, protect it, repeat it, guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. You don't build a legacy off luck. You don't create peace with panic. You don't become who you were born to be by letting your first thoughts be about someone else's life. So stop giving away your mornings like they're meaningless. They're not. They're the blueprint. They're the rhythm. They're the quiet place where identity is built and belief is sharpened. This is your edge. This is your advantage. This is your power. Don't let the world take that from you. Don't let distraction become your master. Don't let comfort become your cage. You want freedom? It's found in the morning. You want power? It's forged in the quiet. You want purpose? Start by reclaiming the first hour of your day and watch your entire life shift. Let's talk legacy, because owning your mornings isn't just about productivity. It's not just about checking boxes or squeezing in one more task. It's about becoming the person your future self can be proud of. It's about living in alignment with the life you say you want. It's about showing up for yourself before the world starts demanding pieces of you. Let me remind you of something important. Your morning isn't about the clock. It's about the commitment. You can wake up at 4 a.m. or 7 a.m. That's not the point. The point is, what do you do with it when you wake up? Are you planting seeds? Are you filling your cup? Are you grounding yourself in truth before the pressure of the world kicks in? Because every decision you make in those early moments either builds your future or betrays it. You're either honoring your goals or avoiding them. You're either stepping into growth or retreating into comfort. You're either protecting your peace or handing it away, cheap. And the worst part, most people won't even realize they're doing it. They've normalized chaos. They've accepted stress. They've made peace with dysfunction. But you're not most people. You're choosing to own your life. You're choosing to lead your mind. You're choosing to sharpen your soul before the world dulls it. You know the truth. You've felt the difference. You know what it feels like to start your day slow, still, steady. To look in the mirror and say, I'm in control today. To pray, to plan, to breathe, to move intentionally. And once you've experienced that kind of peace, that kind of power, that kind of internal command, you can't go back. You won't want to wake up sloppy anymore. You won't tolerate giving your first hour to gossip, distraction, or drama. You won't be able to start your day in panic without feeling like something's missing. Because something is missing. You, your presence, your discipline, your direction. So stop abandoning yourself in the first hour. Stop disappearing when the day begins. Stop giving away your leadership one morning at a time. Now let's get honest. You're not always going to feel like it. There will be days when you're tired. Days when the bed feels like a trap. Days when your excuses sound more convincing than your purpose. Days when the world is loud and your faith feels small. But those are the days that matter most. Because it's not what you do when it's easy that defines you. It's what you do when it's hard. When you're dragging your feet, but still get up. When you're low on motivation, but still move forward. When your mind says rest, but your purpose says rise. You see, owning your mornings isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about saying, even if I don't feel ready, I refuse to live reactive. Because here's the truth most people avoid. There will never be a perfect time to commit to discipline. You just have to decide that your future is worth more than your comfort. Your peace is worth protecting. Your focus is worth fighting for. Your life is worth leading on purpose. And no, the results won't be instant. You won't see transformation after 1 week. You won't become unstoppable after 5 early wake-ups. But keep showing up. Keep showing up when you're overlooked. Keep showing up when no one claps. Keep showing up when it's quiet, when it's cold, when it's uncomfortable. Because every time you do, you are stacking self-respect. Every time you own your morning, you're casting a vote for the kind of person you want to be. You're reminding yourself that you don't move based on moods. You move based on mission. And that mindset, that shift, that's what separates the elite from the average. That's what separates peace from chaos. That's what separates people who talk about change from people who actually live it. You don't need the world to validate your process. You don't need a camera or a crowd. You just need a decision. You need a reason. And if your reason is freedom, if your reason is legacy, if your reason is becoming everything they said you never would, then this is your path. This is your power. This is your moment. So protect it, and protect it fiercely. Because if you let your mornings slip, your purpose will follow, and your peace will fall apart, one distracted sunrise at a time. You've got one life, one story, one legacy to leave behind. And if you keep waiting for the perfect moment, if you keep handing your mornings to chaos, if you keep waking up and giving your attention to everything but yourself, then you'll wake up one day and realize you lived on autopilot. You were awake, but not alive. You were present, but not intentional. You were breathing, but you never truly led your own life. That's what's at stake here. We're not talking about routines and checklists. We're talking about whether or not your life reflects the vision you say you believe in. And that starts in the morning. You want to change your future? Start with your first hour. You want to build self-respect? Win the battle before the world even sees you. You want to break cycles of distraction, fear, and regret? Then rise with purpose. before the world can take it from you. Own your space, own your time, own your mind. Wake up and move like a person with something to build. Wake up and think like a person with something to protect. Wake up and speak like a person who refuses to surrender another day to weakness. Because here's what nobody tells you. You don't just lose your life in one moment. You lose it in the small moments. The unnoticed, unmanaged, unguarded moments. You lose it one distracted morning at a time, one excuse at a time, one delay at a time, until all that potential, it dies in your hands because you never showed up to claim it. But that's not your story, not anymore. From now on, you rise with purpose, you wake with clarity, you lead yourself before the world gets a chance to mislead you. Because if you don't own your mornings, you'll lose your life. And if you do, if you own it fiercely, consistently, quietly, then what you build will be unstoppable. Because you will no longer belong to the noise. You'll belong to the mission. You'll belong to the moment. You'll belong to yourself again. And that's the most powerful way to live. If you made it this far, drop 100 in the comments so I know you're part of the 1% who's serious about growth.